Okay, what is up everybody? We're here with Tesla Full Self-Driving Beta V11, and now it's time to test on the highway. And what better place to test than by going to SpaceX headquarters in Hawthorne. Take me to One Rocket Road, Hawthorne, California. So there you go. There's our path on the freeway. We're going to be taking the 110 and the 105. And we're off. What other system in the world lets you just say where you want to go and it takes you there? There's nothing else on the market that can do it yet. And let's see how many takeovers I need to get to SpaceX using city streets and the highway. You can see the LA port there. Really beautiful view. And we're cruising along quite calmly and comfortably. Very cautious on these narrow streets. Watching for oncoming cars. Very gentle. Very comfortable. Much more so than the last version, I have to say. And we got a right turn coming up. Very good. Someone's got a Chevy Bolt. They made a mistake. They're going to be driving themselves forever. Although, very cheap EV, $25,000. Since no one wants to buy it after the whole fire thing. Okay, left turn. Come on, you can do it. That's a good girl. Alright, next we got a right turn coming up in 1.5 miles. It's a very curvy road here. It's cruising along quite comfortably. There is somebody behind me, so let me tell it to go a little bit faster. And it's lowered the speed down to 30 again for some reason. Probably because it's a speed limit sign or something. And I'll raise it again. Another bend coming up. It's slowing down to 25. Now raising up to 30. Not good. There. Used to handle this correctly in the old software. So I'll raise the speed again. Not sure why it keeps going down to 25 for a moment. Maybe it's lowering the speed for a curve or something. Could be related to something that's asked them to do, maybe, I'm not sure. Alright, half a mile until our right turn. Let's have it go 40. Guy behind us is getting annoyed. Oh, the speed limit actually is 40, but it lowered it to 30. Something definitely weird going on with the speed limits on this build. But you expect some issues with an early build. Hopefully they'll be able to resolve that before they roll it out wider. Alright, now we got a right turn coming up. Looks like there's some traffic. Turning left. And now it looks clear for us. The light's green. And there we go. Very nice, comfortable acceleration. Seems to be maybe taking a little bit longer to get up to the top speed, which creates a more comfortable, safe feeling. Might annoy some people. But you can always use the accelerator. Got a car merging in, brake slightly, car turning out, brake slightly for that as well. Now here we've got a lane splitting, so the lane that we're in actually splits into 2 lanes. Let's see how it handles that. Okay, it's decided to go into the rightmost lane. That makes sense because we do have a right turn coming up ahead. It's a smart lane choice there. But there are sometimes some parked cars on the right here, so let's see if that trips it up. Yeah, there you can see there's an RV parked, but it just hangs to the left of the lane and handles it no problem. Now there's a right turn lane. It made sure not to get into the right turn lane and to stay straight. So overall, I think this build is really great. Huge improvement in comfort, in safety. It's got a few rough edges, but I don't think the 0.2 release should be too far off. You can see even through occlusions, it's able to track a lot of the traffic. It's able to see that that guy's turning right, that that guy's going straight. Even though, you know, I'm blocked by all these other cars, I can, you know, barely even see a full car passing through. But the system's smart enough to still be able to figure out what's going on, that there's traffic passing in front of me and the light's red, and that I'm waiting and all these cars that are around me. It's even picking up some of the cars that are on the other intersection, waiting to turn left. And you can see the traffic lights are now highlighted in blue. Yeah, you can see those cars turning left, it's showing them. So it knows that there are cars turning left. And it now highlights the signal in blue that it's responding to. So you can see, okay, this signal here on my right is the red light that it's looking at for controlling this lane. And now it's turned green, so we can go. Right, we got some construction worker here on the side. Car made sure to go around them, very good. And coming up, we've got to turn onto Gaffey. So this is kind of a weird turn. The car sometimes has had trouble with going over the line when making this turn. So let's see how it does. Okay, and we're now down to 25 again and then up to 45. So what is going on here? Could it be that maybe there's something on my windshield that's confusing the speed limit reading neural network or something like that? I suppose it's possible. Maybe I should wipe my windshield. So let's do that. Hopefully it doesn't do that on the freeway, because that would not be good. Alright, the light's green. So did get in the right lane to continue right onto Gaffey. And we need to go straight. So that's good. Yes, staying in the lines, all very good. Perfect. Love it. Couldn't have done it better myself. And here we got some fossil fuel plants. This is what we're trying to get rid of. Look at all this great real estate we could recapture. There are some cone thingies. I don't know what you call them. But the car is recognizing them correctly. It's not seeing them as cones and trying to move away from them. It's recognizing that they're just sort of separating the bike path from the travel lanes for the cars. Okay, and now we've got a blinking red light coming up. Now the correct thing to do is to treat this as a four-way stop. However, the car sometimes does not always handle it correctly. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. You can see in the visualization that they are being rendered as blinking red lights. Stopping for traffic light. Okay, and the car is stopped, so I'm going to press the accelerator. So the light was blinking, the visualization recognized it was blinking, but the car failed to control for that light in the correct way. And it's really strange. Sometimes it does and sometimes it doesn't. I'm guessing that they don't want to have it just go if it sees it as blinking, because the detection could just be flickering because it's an inaccurate detection, right? So if the detection is flickering, you probably just want to treat it as a stop and have the user, you know, sort of override as necessary, because then sometimes if there was something that made the detection flicker, it could treat it as a, you know, four-way stop and then just go in the middle of a red light. So that's probably why they've implemented it that way, and what the challenge is there. But no reason why it shouldn't be able to control for it correctly, given that the perception system can see what is really happening, which is that it's blinking. Alright, now we are going to try and get on the 110 freeway. The moment of truth, the moment everyone's been waiting for. FSD Beta 11 on the highway. Okay, and we're in the left turn lane, very good. Alright, wipers are going for no reason. And now we wait patiently for our turn to go. We're about 13 miles away from SpaceX. So that'll give us a good stretch of highway to see how the system does. And here we go. Very smooth left turn, incredibly smooth. And we'll get into the left turn lane. And now let's get on the 110. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Couldn't have done it better myself. And now we're going to merge on. The car has set its speed to 65. I'll tell it that it should actually go 75. It's a more appropriate speed for the 110. In my opinion. And here we go. This lane exits, so we're going to merge on. And now we're behind a truck. not good. Okay. This guy's also pretty slow, but we've got a car approaching from the left. And you can see that it's offsetting from the truck exactly as you'd want to, not getting too close. And very smooth, sexy lane change. None of that wait 3 seconds. There was another car approaching from behind, and it's just very good, you know. The lane changes are so much better, oh my god. You will instantly notice the difference on the highway. It's a day and night improvement. And we've got about 9 miles to go before we change onto the 105, so that'll happen in less than 9 minutes. The car's chosen the left lane to drive in, just as I would. Let me set the speed to 80, because this is LA. People like to drive fast, and I don't want to slow anyone down. I could actually increase it to 85, but let's not get too crazy here. And it's incredibly smooth. It feels better, more fluid, more dynamic than the old autopilot system. Actually, the old autopilot system just feels so old and primitive compared to this. And of course, I'm monitoring closely and being ready to take over, knowing that this is a new software, still in limited release, and may still have some issues. So will it try to kill me? Let's find out. Although if it does kill me, I don't know who will post the video. So, if you're seeing this, I'm probably not dead. This guy's got his blinker on. Let's see how long it takes him to figure that out. Number of miles FSD Beta drives is just going to skyrocket now that it's on the highway. I mean, it's hilarious how well it does on the highway, how many miles it can drive without disengagement on the highway compared to on city streets. Highway's just so much easier. So we really do look set for a coast-to-coast drive. You know, it's not hard to imagine that happening this year. This software being able to drive us from the Pacific Ocean to the Atlantic Ocean. And the guy's blinker's still on as I pass him. Like, how are you that oblivious? This is who is driving, you know, who's running our road transport system. Humans. This software may not be perfect yet, but it's so clear that the potential to reduce mistakes, to improve safety, is just massive, and automotive is really just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to this technology. Alright, 5 more miles to go until the 105. I would expect it to start moving over maybe in a couple miles. Okay, a little bit of braking there. Possibly because it was getting a little bit too close to the car on the right, or possibly because of the, you know, the cars up ahead. Now that I see where the traffic is slowing. Oh my god, it, like, the way it slows and picks up again is so much more human-like. So much more dynamic, whereas, like, you know, like, old autopilot's driving almost feels pixelated compared to this, if that makes any sense. Okay, there was it was a ladder on the highway. It's too bad that it wasn't driving in that lane so we could see how it would avoid it. But the, you know, the car in the lane adjacent to me on my left had to offset to avoid the ladder. And so it was able to do that, and this car responded, and everything was good. really smooth, comfortable ride, you know. You could travel for hours this way and end up at your destination just completely refreshed. Love the offsetting on the truck there. That was the number one thing that made people uncomfortable, is getting too close to the truck. So this is just a dramatically better version of autopilot. I can't wait for the Europeans and others to try this and be like, wow, this really addresses so many of the things we've been complaining about. It's so much better, and just so much better than anything else out there on the market. Nobody else even comes close to what Tesla's done here. Alright, we're now 2.8 miles. We're in the center lane, so we are pretty close to being able to take that interchange onto the 105 West. Looks like some type of test mule car there maybe, or a weird wrap. And here we are behind a truck, going very slow. Will the car go around it? Let's see. Come on, go around, you idiot. I cannot believe we're going 48 miles an hour. But that's the kind of thing old autopilot does too, so I think it's more concerned with not missing the turn up ahead than with going very slow in this lane. So we'll just let it do its thing. Let's see if it, you know, changes its mind. I could, of course, use the blinker and go around it, but then we might miss the turn, so. Ramp closed ahead. Uh-oh. Hopefully not my ramp. But if it is closed, then it'll be interesting to see what the system does. If it reroutes or tries to drive into the closed ramp or what. Okay, maybe now that there's a truck right in front of it, it'll realize that it's going behind a slow truck. Well, this sucks. Oh, okay. That ramp was closed. Hopefully mine's fine. Yep, this is very annoying. Very, very annoying being stuck behind this truck. Finally, let's get out of here. What the fuck? Why are we driving behind that truck for so long if you were just going to change lanes to the right? Okay. Very good. Got into the right ramp. It says there's some road work ahead. And the ramp is 25 miles an hour. The car's braking as it should. We got these two lanes merging. Merge behavior has always been kind of a weak point for autopilot, especially legacy autopilot. But that one went okay. There wasn't too much traffic there. And now we're going to exit onto Crenshaw Boulevard, which is the exit for SpaceX. Merging onto the highway. Very good. offsetting from the truck. It might be a little bit too much. I think Zach made this point too. It's a little bit on the line. I think that's okay when there's no car there, but I don't know. Maybe its behavior changes if there's a car coming on your left or something. But it definitely does feel comfortable. You know, you don't feel anxious about the truck being there. Ooh, yeah, baby. That was great. Moving into a different lane when one lane slows. And very smooth stopping there, very smooth stopping. Much more so than legacy autopilot, I would say. Isn't this amazing that you can drive this well with just cameras? Okay, our exit's in about half a mile. So it needs to change lanes in this mess of stop and go traffic and get over to the right lane so it can exit, I think. Unless this lane exits too, maybe. Yeah, I think it looks like both lanes exit, so that's good. Makes its job a little easier. Maybe it knew that, and so it doesn't need to get over. Maybe it will try and get over. This is the kind of thing that computers are really good at. Like, as a human, I might have had to move over to the far right lane because I wasn't sure if both of these lanes exited. But a computer can know that, and it can say, okay, I'm going to avoid even doing it because I have it in the map that there's, you know, 2 lanes that exit. And you can see it's lowering the speed as it exits. And boom, there we go. Next up, we got to make a left turn on Crenshaw. Whoa, that was cool. That was awesome. Like, this new update's very quick. Like, and that's what's really going to make you smile. It does these quick, natural moves, like, to waste less of your time. Like, the way it got into this lane, that lane turned left too. But it said, okay, this lane's a little faster and it also turns left. Like, that's the kind of thing that just makes you go, yes! Fuck yeah! Like, this is actually getting usable. In terms of, like, you know, the biggest thing is like, okay, you use this, but then a lot of the times you just turn it off because you're like, okay, why do I want to waste my time with this? Like, when you're late to get somewhere, you never turn on FSD beta. And this is just so different than what everybody else is doing. If you, like, use a Waymo or a Cruise, they have to drive so slowly and so annoyingly that you might not even want to take it. Because, of course, when you have that kind of thing and you're trying to aim for driverless, then you have to use a lot of caution. But what Tesla can do is actually create something that's very, like, you know, it drives like a Tesla, right? Okay. So now we're pulling into the SpaceX parking lot. And here we are, SpaceX. There's actually a rocket right here, and there's a security guard looking at me, maybe writing something down. He's like, who's this fucker? He's suspicious. Elon, if you're here, hit me up. Let's go get it. Let's go get a bite, maybe. Yeah, so there's the rocket. Don't know if you guys can see it. And they've actually got, oh, they used to have a Hyperloop track here. I think they took it down. So yeah, there you go. FSD beta on the highways.